Okay, guys, I am sorry. I'm supposed to be a presenter in this, and yet all I want to do is be like, no, and start giving my opinion. So I
That's
am
what we
going to give
want.
my opinion because I can't resist. I I do think that if all the teams that I didn't want Inter to face, it was Atletico, I'll be honest with you guys. I do think that they're not defensively strong, but I do think that they're a lot more fun going forward. And I think that they have a very pragmatic coach who hasn't lost a single home game now for 20 games. And I think that they'll win their home game. It's about Inter winning theirs and what happens in the goal, what goes on between those two matches. I think this is going to be a really interesting tie because if anyone's going to really study Inzaghi's team, it's going to be Cholo Simeone. And that was the team I didn't want them to face. I would have preferred them. I think they would have smashed all the other teams, I'll be honest with you, except for maybe Manchester City. Um, and that's the only one that I'm upset about. When it comes to Bayern, interestingly, their best midfielder for so many years, if anyone says anything, is Joshua Kimmich. And yet when he hasn't played twice, they've put in their best performances, including over the weekend against Stuttgart. But again, we have to know that it's going to be February. So what are the teams like? Will Bayern have now found themselves again? Will Inter still have a top team? Will Lazio, I don't know, start finding goals? I somehow don't see Lazio in any way, shape, or form getting over this. As for Barcelona, I think they're pants. I'll be honest with you, they are awful to watch. I really genuinely have no idea how if they had any other group, they wouldn't have qualified out of the group. But they had the easiest group, and they lost their last game, even when they bought players that they shouldn't have bought because they were trying to get the money from winning a match. Like that's how bad their finances are. They've lost a lot of their players, with injuries and stuff. As have Real Madrid, to be honest with you. Something's going on with fitness schemes at the moment, or maybe it is too many matches. But I don't. I think Napoli with Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, if they start to find themselves, and that's a big if. But if we see the Osimhen that we saw from this weekend, I'm actually pretty hopeful. So that's where I stand. But let's talk about the matches. And I think that we should start off with Patrick did a great voice note after that interesting match between Inter and Lazio. Lazio have always won these matches at home against Inter, or have done at least for a long time. And Sarri has never lost to Inter in his coaching career. So that's something to really, really talk about, in all honesty. I think that most people would have predicted a clear Inter win based on form, and they managed to show us just how good that they can be. And I don't know whether this is something that we need to whether we should discuss this from a Lazio side or from an Inter side, because I think we know Inter is so good